What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new Call of Duty video, so let's get into it. So in today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about Call of Duty Ghosts 2 and where the game is at this point. So let's talk about it. So guys, I'm going to be reading some snippets from a couple of articles, one being from Forbes from Paul Tassi, and the other coming from Tom Chapman over at Screen Rant. And just to let you guys know, these articles are old at this point, but I just want to take a couple of snippets from it and then just kind of talk about my personal opinion on where the franchise could be going, or the sub-series could go with Ghost 2, and where the game is at this point, and will we see it at any point in the future. I'll start with the obvious. The original Call of Duty Ghosts is not exactly a beloved game in the series. Made by Infinity Ward, now lacking its founders who made the Modern Warfare games, it was generic and multiplayer upset both casual and pro players alike. It also marked the first severe decline in sales for the series in years, and though it wasn't the lowest point, that would be Advanced Warfare a year later, it was nothing to be celebrated. The real problem, however, is that Call of Duty games are starting to blur together more than ever into one big blob of near-future shooters. While Black Ops started back in Vietnam and Modern Warfare was in some vague approximation of present day, the series has now split into three between Ghost, Black Ops, and Advanced Warfare, and now all are near-future shooters full of robots and drones and elaborate holographic HUDs and everything else that comes with that kind of tech. It's too much. If the series wants to stay fresh, there needs to be some diversity between its games, and Ghosts is the most likely candidate to get cut because of how forgettable it is as a brand and how much the original was disliked. No offense to Infinity Ward, but that's simply how it is. Now, what I will say about this is that I disagree in a couple of areas on this. Ghosts, I think, was not a beloved game in the franchise. However, I would say that Ghost was certainly more beloved than that of Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, and probably even World War II. So to say that it's one of the least beloved games in the franchise, I don't think that's necessarily true. I would certainly put it up there as a decent Call of Duty, not one of the best by any stretch, but I wouldn't say that it's a bad Call of Duty. I thought that the campaign was great, and I would love to see a continuation of the Ghost campaign. The multiplayer was kind of weak. It wasn't that great, but when you compare it to like Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, and even World War II, I thought that it was actually pretty good. Ghost 2 would have to do something dramatic to stand out from the other series, and I'm not sure what that would be at this point. A campaign and multiplayer based on an alien invasion taking a page from their co-op mode, that sounds extreme, but it would almost have to be for Ghost to remain relevant as a brand, as Advanced Warfare and Black Ops have been received so much better. Black Ops 3, guys, even though it did well as far as from the standpoint of sales, I don't know if it was a really beloved game. I certainly did not like the futuristic movement as far as the jetpacks and such. I did not like really any of those games. I thought it was cool in Advanced Warfare as just a kind of a different take on Call of Duty, but I did not want to see it two more times in a row, and we got that with Black Ops 3. We got it with Infinite Warfare, and by the end of those, I was completely sick of it, and I really wish that Infinite Warfare was Ghost 2. The critical response to Call of Duty Ghosts received generally positive and mixed or average reviews according to review aggregator Metacritic. It was praised for its multiplayer gameplay and introduction to the new game mode Extinction, but was criticized for its single-player campaign, rehashing of familiar concepts, and general lack of innovation. IGN praised the sequel for introducing sweeping changes that breathe new life into the multiplayer experience and called the campaign lengthy, challenging, and varied. GameSpot went even further regarding the campaign, calling it impressive and a terrific collection of shootouts and set pieces. Both also welcomed the new character customization feature and game types in multiplayer, particularly Extinction, which was called tremendous fun and an interesting strategic dynamic. The game has also received a great deal of criticism despite getting favorable ratings. Many critics claimed that its campaign mode lacks a compelling story and fails to connect emotionally. Many also agreed that while it is a solid game overall, Call of Duty Ghosts does very little to reinvent the franchise and instead relies on a proven formula by offering more of the same familiar concepts from previous installments. PC Gamer dubbed the campaign as exciting but only passively entertaining and criticized the whack-a-mole feel in the game's multiplayer. Videogamer.com praised overall gameplay, saying it seems more refined and enjoyable than Black Ops 2, but criticized the campaign, calling it a po-faced, nonsensical rehash of greatest hits long past. Eurogamer was less critical of the campaign, commenting that the Ghost campaign can't help but feel like a step backwards, but that it's still capable of being devilishly entertaining and moment-to-moment thrills are still here, if muted by expectation. Joystick disparaged both types of gameplay, saying it layers a fresh coat of paint over a tired design document, a document that brings players down a rote campaign path before landing them in a multiplayer mode that abandons many of the creative advancements seen in Black Ops 2. And so, guys, I think a lot of the criticisms of Ghosts is it was being compared to Black Ops 2, right? And Black Ops 2, in my opinion, is the greatest Call of Duty ever made. And then second, very close to Black Ops 2, is Modern Warfare 2. I mean, two incredible games, and I thought that it started with Modern Warfare 2, and then Black Ops 2 was kind of that follow-up, and Black Ops 2 was even better than Modern Warfare 2. And then you have Ghosts that comes out, and they're expecting it to be like even bigger and better than Modern Warfare 2 was, and I just don't think that that's not necessarily what we got with Ghosts, but I think it was unique for itself, and it was a different take. And right, I think that now when we're looking back at the criticisms of Ghosts, we wish that we would have had a Ghost 2 instead of an Advanced Warfare, a Infinite Warfare, or a Black Ops 3. Even though Black Ops 3 did sell really good, I think people thought that Black Ops 3 was going to be the true sequel to Black Ops 2, and I, at least, didn't really get that feeling whatsoever after playing Black Ops 3. The other thing that I will say is that Extinction was a very fun game mode in my opinion. I actually liked Extinction more than that of Zombies because you could actually beat Extinction, whereas with Zombies, the hang-up I've always had with Zombies is that you just really can't beat it. Like, obviously, they've evolved Zombies over time, but I just thought that Extinction was a fresh take, and I would love to see kind of a add-on to that, whether that's in Modern Warfare or if that's going to be in a future Ghost game. I thought it was quite refreshing, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. The sales of Call of Duty Ghosts, despite shipping $1 billion worth of units to retail channels within 24 hours of the game's launch, overall sales were down compared to 2012's Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Activision blamed the fall in demand on uncertainty caused by the upcoming transition to 8th generation consoles. As of February 2014, the game has sold over 19 million copies. So guys, 19 million copies, that is a ton of copies of the game that were sold. So obviously, to the Call of Duty standards, it was a downgrade, right? And that is very clear, but it still sold a lot of copies, and I think that there's still a fan base around Call of Duty Ghosts, especially when we look at the years past here that we've had. Black Ops 4 was, in my opinion, the true return to Call of Duty, even though it didn't have a campaign. And I thought World War II was kind of like a stepping stone to get to Black Ops 4, and now in the future we're going to have Modern Warfare, and then moving forward, we very well might be getting Modern Warfare and Black Ops as far as the two main sub-series of Call of Duty, and we just get those every other year, because now it's going to be Treyarch and Infinity Ward making those games on a every other year basis. So I would just think that there's a possibility that Ghost 2 could return, because Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare are most likely never going to return, and I really hope they don't return. Infinity Ward communications manager Ashton Williams posted on Twitter sharing a cryptic nod at the studio's next Call of Duty game. The use of a creepy skull and static effect has fans and experts split into two camps over what Williams means. It didn't take long for some to point out the skull could relate to Modern Warfare's Lieutenant Simon Ghost Riley and the skull-clad wraparound he is synonymous for wearing. And you can see that she did post this skull on her Twitter account. And obviously, guys, Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare is the next addition to the franchise. And I think that maybe she's insinuating that Ghost is going to be in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, or she's giving us a taste of really, yes, Modern Warfare is coming. However, we're not forgetting about all of you that enjoyed Call of Duty Ghosts. So keep that in mind. Others pointed out that 2013's Call of Duty Ghosts used a skull motif in its original marketing campaign. Considering it's been over 5 years since Ghosts came to PC, PlayStation, Xbox 360, and Wii U, gamers have been waiting for any news relating to a possible sequel. Similar to how Call of Duty Black Ops 4 moved away from what everyone expected from the subseries, a Ghost sequel could reinvent itself for a new generation. And I agree with this, guys. I actually thought that the Ghost campaign was actually pretty well done. I thought the ending was such a cliffhanger. You definitely want to see what happens as far as that campaign is concerned, and I think that they could improve on the multiplayer. I thought some of the maps were decent. I thought some of the guns were good in Ghost. We were consistently comparing it to Black Ops 2, to the Modern Warfare subseries, and I think now that we've seen in the past, like the jetpacks and such, we'll take anything that is boots on the ground, that is gritty, kind of toned, has a good campaign, a solid package together, and I thought that Extinction, as well as the addition of a new sub-series, which was Ghost. I think Ghost 2 is very much so a series that people would like to revisit at some point in the future. So obviously, guys, where does this leave us now? We have Call of Duty Modern Warfare coming out later this month, and announced that Sledgehammer has moved into working with Treyarch on the next Call of Duty, and a lot of people are saying that it's going to be Black Ops 5, which will be like a Cold War-based Black Ops game. And then from there, what is Infinity Ward going to be working on? They could be working on another Modern Warfare 2, or whatever you want to call it, Modern Warfare 2, or you want to call it Modern Warfare 5. Or are they going to be working on Ghost 2? I think now that Modern Warfare is here, and it sounds like Black Ops is certainly going to be continued with Treyarch, will Infinity Ward continue down the direction of Modern Warfare, making more Modern Warfare games, or are they going to take a break and kind of come back to Ghost? I actually think that most likely what's going to happen is Black Ops and Modern Warfare are just, they're going to continue those two because those are the flagship sub-series of Call of Duty as a whole. I think that they might do that because they're the best selling of all the other sub-series in Call of Duty. However, I think there is a chance that we will see Ghost down the road as far as in the form of a Ghost 2. I would think that it's probably going to be announced maybe on the next generation consoles. So that would be like the Xbox 2, the PlayStation 5, and then we could kind of go from there as far as a timetable of when to expect it. But I would say, obviously, the earliest we'll hear about it would be after the Black Ops 5 that gets announced next year. But let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about this? Would you guys want to see a Ghost sequel return, or do you just want to continue seeing Modern Warfare games and Black Ops games continuing the franchise forward? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.